Hello, good afternoon. So today we shall be starting with our course, that is the Great Educators, with the course code 8503. We shall be starting with Unit 1. I'll just share my video and we shall start the presentation. So today we shall be learning about Socrates. So Socrates was a great philosopher who was born in 470 BC and he died in 399 BC. So there are many things that we can note for Socrates' life history and his philosophy. Socrates is basically the father of Western philosophy. He never wrote down any of his teachings. His student Plato did this for him. And Socrates' philosophy arose out of his negative feelings in relation to the teaching of the sophists. So now we shall see about the life of Socrates. So he was born in 470 BC. He lived in Athens at the height of its civilization. He was described as a person who was not a very good looking man, and rather people said that he is an ugly looking man who often walked barefoot and wore the same kind of clothes, whatever the weather would be. He was an excellent soldier. He had great physical power and could endure a lot. He was also a very disciplined person. He was interested in the development of a person's moral character. Socrates was concerned with the question of moral behavior that is known as ethics. So, unlike the sophists, Socrates believed that there was a definite right and wrong. He believed that people could accept it and apply it into their daily lives. He said that it was up to people, that is, the society as a whole, to establish those things that are right and those that are wrong. He dedicated his life to searching for standards by which people could live a virtuous or a good life. Socrates was also concerned with justice. He wanted life to be fair for all. It was a person's duty to explore the truth regarding the right and wrong, justice and injustice, courage and cowardice. He worked to find principles and laws that could live by and be happy. And universally, these truths would be applicable for all people at any time, everywhere, in all cases. Socrates' style of philosophy was very distinctive. He questioned people through dialogues and discussion. He chose people who were expert in their field and fully understood the topic being discussed. He adopted the role of ignorant questioner. He pretended that he did not know and wanted to be educated. He asked tactful questions which would bring the experts to a dead end, that they would run out of the answers. This showed them and others that they did not have all the answers and so were not experts. Therefore, the aim of this method, that is the Socratic method, was to get to the truth of how a person could live a good and moral life. Through the dialogues, Socrates wanted to discover people's views on living a moral, just life. Socrates urged people to question what they are being told, as well as their beliefs, that is, to question everything. Socrates himself learned through this process and developed his own philosophy from his methods. So, Socrates described about the soul. So, according to Socrates, the soul is hugely important to his philosophy, had to be nurtured and protected. That means the soul has to be nurtured and protected. And by gaining wisdom, one could save his or her soul. This would lead a person to live a virtuous living. So Socrates rightfully said, knowing what is good is the same as doing what is good. He believed people would not willingly do wrong. No one wants to be a bad person. So later philosophers would disagree with him. They said that a person might know what is right, but may not be strong enough or disciplined enough to do so. Socrates believed that an action is right when it promotes humanity's true happiness. Socrates spoke of alcohol also. Drunkenness, that was one thing that Socrates spoke about. So, drunkenness is only short term pleasure that is gained. Whatever you are escaping from when you drink will come back. Drunkenness has long term effects. It leads to ill health. It can enslave the body, that is, a person can become addicted to it. The drinking of alcohol goes against reason. Why would you willingly want to damage your body? Alcohol and drunkenness does not produce true pleasure. The negative effects far outweigh the temporary happiness. Socrates' pleasure, like Socrates believed that true pleasure could only be attained through living a normal or a moral life. So we can conclude from Socrates' life history. And now we come towards the end of Socrates' life. He was executed in 399 BC, and he saw Athens was in danger of destruction. He became critical of the government at that time. He was a social and moral critique. He attempted to improve Athenian sense of living, his pursuit of virtue and strict adherence to what was happening in that society. It clashed with the Athenian society. He claimed that he was the wiser one since he was the person who was aware of his own ignorance. So he was put on trial and was found guilty for whatever he spoke about, whatever he had to share with people in terms of his philosophy. So then he was found guilty of doing heresy and also corrupting the minds of the youth. So, because he was found guilty, he was forced to drink a lethal poison and he was given the opportunity to either escape the city or drink poison and take his own life. So, however, he did not choose to escape, rather, he drank the poison and he died. So, now to summarize Socrates' philosophy, he spoke about virtue, that is knowledge, which is the most valuable things of all. Life should be spent in search of goodness. Truth is possible to be achieved. People should focus on self development rather than material wealth. It is the job of the philosopher to show people how little they know really. So, with this, we conclude with Socrates' philosophy. In next session, we will be discussing about another philosopher. So, till then, thank you, and we keep learning.